I have made a lot of videos about productivity. I have spoken about it. I have made a lot of vlogs and study vlogs in which I show myself studying and hustling and working and being productive and not burning out in all of that. And whenever we think about words like productivity, the concept of productivity, some of the words and just ideas that flow into our mind are time management, to-do lists, calendars, Google calendars, ticking off your to-do list, all of that, and just this notion of hustle culture and stuff like that, which I spoke about in another video, which is my toxic productivity video. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't done so already. So we always think of productivity as this big difficult task that we master and we'll just be the best at it. And while all that is true, while time management is definitely a big part of productivity, there's one other sort of management that is not talked about, and that is called attention management. And in this video we're going to talk all about it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nandini and I'm a sophomore studying journalism and dramatic literature at New York University. Like I said, in this video we're going to be talking about attention management and why it might be the best way for you to be productive and also not burn out in the process. So let's just get right into it. I want to be very clear before I actually dive into the topic of attention management that this video is heavily adapted from and reliant on a recent article that I wrote for Youth Aspiring magazine, which is a magazine company that I currently intern at. I write an article once per week, so if you want to go check out my articles, you can do that. If you want to check out this particular article in which I talk about attention management very briefly, very succinctly, it's just a 5-minute read, 3-minute read, I guess. You can go check that out. I'll link all of these things in the description box below. And now let's start talking about attention management. Productivity has always been a hot topic. In a typical dictionary definition, productivity is the quality, state, or fact of being able to generate, create, enhance, or bring forth goods and services. Many believe that if you're a productivity guru, then you tick off everything that you write down on a to-do list. You always get things done on time, and then you can just micromanage every single second of your day. And you're able to do that for a very long period of time. But new theories are suggesting otherwise. So I mainly learned about attention management by a man called Adam Grant, who is a psychologist, an author, and a professor at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. And I believe he wrote an article for the New York Times titled "Productivity Isn't About Time Management, It's About Attention Management." And this particular video really is reliant on that particular article because it literally changed the concept of productivity for me. Like, before I even thought about sitting down and filming this video or scripting this video or writing the article that I wrote about attention management, this was the one article that I shared on my Twitter and my Instagram. You guys can follow me if you want over there. And I was just mind blown. Like, Adam Grant, he writes really well and he's able to succinctly put down these different difficult topics to understand in easy words. So if you guys want any other guidance on attention management, I would highly recommend checking out that article. I'll link it down in the description box below for you guys. So Grant's article starts with this manager, who I believe is his friend, who is talking about how his boss wants to fit in more meetings in his already very busy schedule, and the manager's really stressed out and he's like, oh my god, what should I do? I can't think of any way I can save more time so that I can take on that extra work and those extra meetings. And the solution he comes up with is, maybe I should drink less water so that I have to visit the washroom less. And this was literally the only way he could think about saving his time to fit in those extra meetings for his boss. So from the story we get the point. Everybody is bragging about being busy. Everybody is worried about how they can fit in more into their schedule. Everybody is worried about fitting that extra meeting into their Google calendar. But you know what? Every time people brag about these things or people are worried about these things, it doesn't work out. We all have to realize that we have a limited amount of time in our day. All of us have the same amount of time in a day. We can't change that for any of us. And we can only do so much in that given amount of time. So managing that time obviously becomes very, very important because there's limited amount of time, right? And whoever manages better gets more done. But while time management will allow you to go ahead and succeed and fulfill your goals and tick off those to-do list items, attention management will be able to help you do so in a manner in which you're not burnt out and you get your work done more efficiently and effectively. Grant says about attention management, Attention management is the art of focusing on getting things done for the right reasons, in the right places, and at the right moments. So a lot of the times we are not productive it's not because we lack efficiency, it's because we lack motivation. Not extrinsic motivation, but intrinsic motivation. We lack intrinsic motivation and the drive to do things that personally and internally make us happy when we solely focus on the destination and not learn to enjoy the journey, the process of doing things. For instance, if you want to run like a very long marathon, you are not enjoying the process of when you get up every day to train. You're just solely focusing on the destination of when you get to that point, you get that medal or you get that satisfaction of finishing the race. But you don't realize that you won't feel that satisfaction of finishing the race if you don't learn to enjoy every day that you get up and train to run that marathon. On this, Grant says, if you pay attention to why you're excited about the project and who will benefit from it, you will be naturally pulled into it by intrinsic motivation. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that it's very important to find the why behind anything and everything that we do. Whenever you start up a new project or you take on a new project, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who will benefit from this? Will I feel happiness and a sense of inner satisfaction, or am I just taking on this project because others are doing so or others said so and not because I really truly want to be dedicated to this project? And if you're stuck in the opposite situation where you're like, I've taken on a project that I like, I know I want to do this, I have all the intrinsic motivation, but at a certain point you feel lost, confused, angry, frustrated, you feel like you just want to give it all up, remind yourself of why you started in the first place. The reason why all of this becomes important is because, yes, you might be the most productive person in the entire world, but if you don't have the internal drive, the intrinsic motivation to do something, if you don't have your why of why you're doing something, then you're swimming in the wrong direction. There's no point at all. So there's one aspect of time management that does relate to attention management. It's the when. So whenever you want to achieve attention management, focus on the when of time management. When you decide to do what task. A series of studies conducted by Julia Lee showed that bad weather was actually really beneficial for productivity. This was because more work was being done by people when the weather outside was bad and they were not distracted by the thought of going outside. For instance, if it's a sunny day outside, you'll naturally feel like going for a walk and hanging out with people and just being outside, alright? But if it's like a rainy day, you will probably want to sit inside, and when you sit inside, you're naturally going to produce more work. So again, what do we learn from this? We learned that it's very important to schedule the right kind of task for the right time of the day. For instance, if you're a morning person, it's important if you try and schedule all your analytical and brain-heavy thinking kind of stuff in the morning and reserve your evenings or late nights for more of creative work. You do the opposite if you're a night owl or a night person. This is important because you are at peak alertness in the morning if you're a morning person, so keep all the analytical tasks then, and your evenings can then be reserved for more like non-linear creative thinking. So Grant says, it's not time management because you might be spending the same amount of time on the tasks even after you rearrange your schedule. It's attention management. You're noticing the order of tasks that works for you and adjust accordingly. So a lot of the times, attention management is simply being mindful of your time, mindful of what you're doing. For instance, if you feel like taking a break, take a break. If you feel like doing extremely heavy task-based work, do that work. If you feel like sleeping, sleep. Just be sure of how you're spending your time and what works for you based on your attention span during that time. William James once wrote this, and he wrote it a long time ago, but it's so applicable today, and it says, "My experience is what I attend to." That just makes too much sense. You choose what kind of tasks you want to take part in. You choose the projects that you want to do. Don't let people decide what you should be doing. Whatever you do, put in your intrinsic motivation and everything into it. Learn to enjoy the process. Find your why. Hopefully this video helped you guys, and hopefully you guys can be more productive if you realize when, what time works for you for what kind of tasks. If you guys like this video, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!